Guess what? I'm back. Sorry it's been a little while, guys. I had some computer issues and I haven't been able to get things up. I wanted to do a Halloween study or special, but I'm not going to be able to get too much in depth to it because it's already approaching that. So I'll just go get into a little bit of topics and maybe, who knows, maybe I might cover some of the major points of that ritualistic, quote unquote, holy day that we like to celebrate. That is like the second most commercialized holiday of the year, next to Christmas. But speaking of holidays, it is that time of year again. You got the three major holidays coming up. You got Halloween, you got Christmas, and you got Easter in April. So, hopefully by the time Christmas rolls around, I'll be able to give you some insight on that without having any issues or anything like that. So, today we're going to be talking a little bit about familiar spirits and these types of things, and the ghost hunters and shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventurers and these types of things. Well, what are these ghost hunters and what are these ghost adventurers? What are these people that like to seek after these ghosts? What are these ghosts? Are they Aunt Susie Ann from, a past life that is roaming around a house from where they ceased from? Or is it something else? I'm going to flat out say it. It's something else. For it is appointed to man once to die, and after this judgment, folks. So, if you've ever seen apparitions of a quote-unquote loved one, or you're smelling something that smells like what your dad smelled like, or whatever, trust me, it's not your dad. It's not your brother. It's not Aunt Jemima. It's not any of that. What it is, it's a familiar spirit, or demon, if you will, who poses as a ministering spirit, basically. And so we're going to kind of get into that. Plus, I wanted to share something interesting, because, hey, we got 2012 coming up, December 21st, and I thought this was kind of cute, so I'll probably end with a little commercial that is being aired in my area here in Michigan. Because I hear it every day at work, and, the stuff that they listen to, it's like, oh, gotta roll your eyes at it, but, what can you do, right? Anyway, Deuteronomy 18, 9, 10, 11, and 12 says, When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. So, we're not to learn the way of the heathens. Well, what's the way of the heathens? Well, it's paganism, basically. There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter. It's kind of interesting with this whole 2012 thing. Or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. There is no compromise, people. We are not to be partakers or be in fellowship with these practices or people that are involved with these practices, period. Just because it's in Deuteronomy doesn't mean it's not valid today. Okay? For the wages of sin is death. Now, obviously, you don't get stoned to death anymore, but if you don't come to the knowledge of the saving grace of Jesus Christ, well, at the end of it all, it's going to be eternal death for you if you keep on going that route you want to go, delved in witchcraft and necromancy and stuff like that. So, what is a familiar spirit? Well, you really got to look. Because a lot of times when you look at a word, like familiar spirit here, okay, you're going to see different meanings, okay? And I want to show you something here. See, a familiar spirit can mean a necromancer. But if you look already here, it says, or a consulter with familiar spirits. Or a wizard or a necromancer. So this word's already defined here. So what else could this mean? One who evokes the dead? Okay. Or a ghost? What did I just say about ghosts? Spirit of a dead one. Okay, so we're not to be found among any of these people that consult with the dead. So are we really supposed to be involved in all this ghost hunting that people are just the popularity of it is such on a rise? We're not supposed to be involved with that. What are these people that are like in ghost hunters and ghost adventurers? Well, they're necromancers. That's what they are. They consult with the dead. They consult with familiar spirits. Familiar spirits are familiar with the person that lived during that time. So it's not Joe Bob. It's not Joe Bob Shish Kebab that is walking around out there. What you're communicating with is a demon or a devil. Okay. So clearly here, this is what this is in reference to: a ghost, spirit of a dead one. Okay, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Okay, so that's basically what that is in reference to. And if you go to Isaiah 8:19 through 20, we see this again. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits. And unto wizards that peep and that mutter. Should not a people seek unto their God, for the living to the dead? See, God is not a God of the dead, He's a God of the living. Okay? Once you're dead, you're dead. For it is appointed unto man once to die, and after this, the judgment. Okay? Either your soul is in hell, or it's in heaven when you die. That's it. You know, I'm not going to get into a whole huge debate on that at this moment, but there's two places where you go when you cease, and if you're not walking in the ways of God, well, chances are it's not going to be good for you. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. So it's to the law and to the testimony, basically the word of God. Okay, we need to be living, breathing, and teaching that word. And that word has nothing in common with these types of practices. Has nothing in common with ghost hunting. We should not even be involved with it. What is it? It's necromancy. Calling on the spirits of the dead, which you're really calling on demons. Okay, we are not to have any partakers of it. Period. If you're calling yourself a Christian or whatever, and you're getting yourself involved with these types of things, you're not supposed to be doing it. Okay? I figure since this is around Halloween time, and this is such a big thing around this time of year, you see the programs and stuff like that, I figured I'd bring this up. So hopefully I can prick your conscience a little bit if you know anybody that's doing these types of things. Okay. It's a very dangerous practice. You're basically stepping on the devil's playground by doing these types of things. You're basically giving him free reign to come and have control over you, basically. And we all struggle with our own problems, our own situations, and we have to come out of it. Okay. We all do. I do. Whatever. But we have to fight it and we have to come out of it. For those that know about these things and continue in it or try to make excuses, well, people need clarity and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm sorry, but this isn't the kind of clarity. What kind of clarity do you want to give them? Do you want to lie to them and say, oh yeah, he's fine, he's passed on to the other side? Or do you want to speak to them the truth and tell them what's going on here? So point being, with these few verses here that I want to show you, is that this is definitely something you do not want to be getting yourself involved with. And if you are involved with it, well, guess what? Stop doing it. Turn from it. It's not like something that's addicting. It's quite easy to do. Pray about it. Ask God to give you the strength to come out of it if you're having such problems with it. I've been somewhat involved with this kind of stuff, and it's just, to me, it's just, and I know that the supernatural is real. Okay, but the supernatural are not spirits of people walking around on the other side. Okay, the supernatural is these entities, whether good or bad. Okay, and when it's talking about familiar spirits, again, it is talking about those that are familiar with that person while they were living and yet not living. Okay, and so when you see apparitions of a supposed loved one, or you're getting strange smells or smells that resemble a loved one or whatever, I'm telling you right now, it's not who you think it is. It's not Aunt Margaret, okay? Even though these spirits will talk to you, and they say, oh yeah, it's so-and-so, this is so-and-so, and stuff like that. So, but that's basically what I have to say in this little tiny message. This is something you want to stay away from. I gotta kind of get back into the swing of things here. I don't have any special effects for intros yet and anything. I gotta get all that set up again. I want to take you to this little article here. This is from my from Michigan here, from Detroit, 89X. Pretty sure some of you are probably familiar with it. I have here the disgusting radio program that's played in the morning all the time. Kind of drives me nuts. But I just basically just turn it off around me, basically, and just ignore it. But anyways, I think this was kind of funny, is that they got this huge commercial playing in the back, playing on 89X, saying the Mayans predict the world will end on December 21st. See, now it's becoming this huge party type shindig with December 21st. 89X's final giveaway. I mean, listen to this, folks. If that's the case, we can't take it with us. And it goes on, caller X at 8 a.m., noon, 4, and 8 p.m. wins $100 instantly and gets qualified to win $10,000 in cash and a trip for two to the end of the world party. Doesn't that sound like fun? Well, guess what? The Mayans predict the world will end on December 21st. If that's the case, we can't take it with us. Caller X at 8 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. wins $100 instantly and gets qualified to win $10,000 in cash and a trip for two to the end of the world party on December 21st in West Virginia. Very interesting. They'll spend their last days on Earth doing personalized bucket list experiences, enjoying an epic last meal, and riding out the apocalypse at the end of the world party. And look at this, in an underground bunker. Isn't that interesting? And this is an actual radio station promoting this, so if any of you got any doubts that these underground bunkers don't exist, this is kind of a nice little clarity. It's your shot at $20,000 in cash and prizes. Celebrate the end of the world exclusively from Shock Top Belgian-style wheat ale. Live life unfiltered. So I figured I'd share that with you. I thought that was kind of interesting because, like I said, I hear this every morning and it just drives me nuts. Not to mention the Dave and Chuck the Freak garbage that they play. But anyway, those are my quick little thoughts on this video here, and hopefully I was able to explain I mean, the whole familiar spirit teaching doesn't need to be so in depth. It's quite easy to explain. Um, I mean, that's basically the Word of God. Simply put, simple truth here. And I figured I'd throw that little last tidbit of information in there. So, well, I mean, until next time, truth be told, truth be known, stay safe, God bless, and I'm glad I'm back up here. And we will see you soon.